Senate is about Nigeria and Nigerians.
I think our concern for this moment should be how to generate electricity and effectively, adequately distribute electricity.
Senate rejects electricity tariff hike, calls for improvement in power sector.
The bill read the third time and passed.
And Southeast Development Commission comes on stream as Senate passes the bill for its establishment. A warm welcome to you and thanks for joining us on another interesting episode of Inside the Senate, a program that brings you reports of activities from the Red Chamber of the National Assembly. I am your anchor on the program, Aisha Mohammed Ahmed. Last week, the Senate kicked against plan to hike electricity tariff by distribution companies as lawmakers insisted that would worsen the hardship already being experienced by Nigerians. In another development, the Senate passed the Southeast Development Commission bill to see to the creation of a commission aimed at the development of the region. These and other reports coming your way as the program unfolds. Please stay with us.
We are fighting for this democracy. This country will definitely improve in terms of development and progress.
Nigerians deserve better living.
What is executive and the legislature, they are going to put in their best for a better Nigeria.
Thanks for staying tuned. On Wednesday, 21st February 2024, Senator Aminu Iya Abbas, through a matter of urgent public importance, moved a motion co-sponsored by 10 other senators. It was on the planned increase in electricity tariff and arbitrary billing of unmetered customers by distribution companies, DISCOs. In the motion, Senator Abbas described the plan to increase electricity tariff by the relevant statutory authority as gross disregard of increased economic challenges with attendant widespread poverty and high cost of living.
The Senate might note that the Honorable Minister of Power was reported saying the nation must begin to move towards a cost-effective tariff model as the country is currently indebted to a tune of 1.3 trillion naira to generating companies and $1.3 billion owed gas companies, according to him. Over 2 trillion needed for subsidy. Only 415 billion was budgeted for in 2024.
Senator Abbas also noted that the same electricity businesses are collecting money from customers for services not rendered when they have not added anything to the equipment they inherited from the Power Holding Company of Nigeria.
Communities buy transformers to replace damaged ones, in addition to overburden bills and arbitrary estimates for metered customers. Cognizance, in a country where a greater number of population live below poverty level, with stagnant wages, rising inflation, and depreciating currency, the prospect of high electricity bill is unattainable.
The lawmaker further stated that the high cost of living, coupled with excessive electricity charges, disproportionately affects unmetered customers, particularly small and medium enterprises, impacting their businesses. He also raised concerns that the objectives of the new Electricity Act 2023 aimed at ensuring accurate electricity charges will not be met without investigating DISCOs and improving NERC's regulatory oversight. He therefore urged the Senate to call on the federal government of Nigeria to stand down the idea of increase in electricity tariff. Mandate the Committee on Power to investigate the over 2 trillion naira subsidy requirement as stated by the Minister of Power to avoid the repeat of fuel subsidy scenario and the statement made by Honorable Minister with regards to the 1.3 trillion naira the ministry was owing generating companies and the $1.3 billion owed to gas companies. investigate the role of Ministry of Power, NERC, and Ziklav's company on their roles in the failed agreement to provide prepaid meters and ensure Nigeria is not shortchanged. Engage the NERC to come up with lasting solution to the energy billing system in the country and other related issues therein. Find out the truth of the matter with regards to the issue of federal government directive and release of funds for mass prepaid metering and report findings to the Senate to enforce and ensure the judicious utilization of the 10.5 billion naira penalty imposed on discos, and investigate the operations of discos to ascertain the current status of metering and their extent of compliance with relevant legal and regulatory frameworks in service delivery. Also to direct the NERC to furnish the committee with any relevant document on metering of electricity consumers, post-privatization requirements for the operation of discos, and evidence of regulatory actions taken to ensure statutory compliance by discos. Direct NERC to ensure the implementation of energy caps by all discos to unmetered customers in the country, and some lawmakers commented in support of the motion.
I think our concern for this moment should be how to generate electricity and effectively, adequately distribute electricity. Most of the problems that we are having today, especially in the manufacturing sector of the economy, is as a result of low power. And many organizations and companies are relocating from Nigeria simply because they don't have energy to drive their organizations.
The populace are facing untold hardships, and the situation in the country is anything but normal. And removal of any subsidy, not to talk of electricity subsidy, will be more than adding petrol to fire. So when I heard the Minister of Power talking about that removal, I don't know his why, but I believe that is ill-timed, is insensitive to say the least, and therefore there is the need for the Senate to rise to this occasion and intervene. Let wisdom prevail in the governance of this country.
I want to use this medium to call on the power holding companies across the nation to keep to their promises of giving Nigerians prepaid meters. They should stop this idea of estimated bills. They are doing this to Nigerians, and I see it as an intimidation because of the monopoly they enjoy, in knowledge of the fact that Nigerians don't have alternative to power supply.
Senate President Godswill Akpabio also lent his voice to the matter.
Nigerians are very worried about the following increases in products across the country, and urge the Committee on Power to work closely with the Minister of Power to ensure that the resolutions of the Senate are respected in order to ameliorate and reduce any contemplated suffering on consumers of electricity in the country. So I thank you all for your contributions.
After the debates, the motion was voted on and adopted.
Say nay. The ayes have it.
Let's take a break here to open the Senate's notebook. Don't go away.
Legislative lobbying is the art of influencing legislative decisions towards a policy or decision. It is championed by a lawmaker or a group of lawmakers with a view to achieving positive objectives. It could also be undertaken by civil society organizations and other pressure groups to press home their interests and desires from legislators.
Welcome back. Still on activities from last week's plenary, the Senate passed the Southeast Development Commission Establishment Bill into law. The bill seeks the establishment of the Southeast Development Commission in the Federal Republic of Nigeria to act as a catalyst to develop the potentials of the Southeast and for other connected matters. Details of these and more from our studio. Keep watching.
The Committee of the Whole to enable us to consider this report.
On Thursday, 22nd February 2024, the Senate, during plenary, resolved into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report on the Southeast Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024 as presented by the Senate leader, Senator Bamidele Michael Okpeyemi.
I wish to move for the Senate to resolve into the Committee of the Whole to consider the report. I so move, Mr. President.
The bill, which contains 31 clauses, seeks the creation of a commission charged to receive and manage funds from allocation of the Federation account for the reconstruction of roads, houses, and other infrastructural damages suffered by the region as a result of the effects of the civil war, as well as other ecological, environmental, and developmental challenges faced in the region. Some lawmakers moved motions for amendment as clauses of the bill were considered.
It's a national body. It's not meant for South Sudan alone. Whatever is done there is done through the entire country. So just the way the NDDC has representatives of all other political zones, the Northeast Development Commission also has the same arrangement. These also should also be the same, and other ones that will come after should also have the same arrangement.
E, F, and G, sir. That is, one person represents solid minerals, extracting and mining producing companies. One person to represent Federal Minister of Finance. One person to represent Federal Minister of Environment. Your Excellency, these clauses are not obtainable in other commissions, and as such, we should expunge it, sir.
Anybody who wants to recommend changes in this act to ensure that he look at the other acts, like the Northeast Development Commission Act, before making recommendation. For instance, if you check the Northeast Development Act 2D, one person or each to represent the 6 political zones of the country. Northeast still appeared, and it's still the same thing in the Niger Delta development. Niger Delta still, South was still represented. You still have one person to represent Federal Minister of Finance, one person to represent Budget and Planning, and 3 executive directors.
After adopting the amendment, the Senate reverted to plenary where the bill was read a third time and passed.
As recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? The bill read the third time and passed.
Another bill considered for concurrence during plenary last week was a bill for an act to make provisions for the retirement age of staff of National Assembly Service and for other related matters 2024, sponsored by Senator Bamidele Michael Okpeyemi. Leading the debate, the Senate leader presented the principles and objectives of the bill.
The bill provides for the retirement age of legislative officers to retire at the age of 65 years or 40 years of service, whichever is earlier. You would agree with me that the National Assembly is a specialized institution which needs to be strengthened, and to achieve this, its officers need to be placed well by removing them from public service rules on retirement age.
According to Senator Bamidele, what the bill seeks is in line with international best practices, citing examples from the United States Congress and the British Parliament. The Senate leader further stated that the bill is geared towards making provisions for the retirement age of only legislative officers who are staff of the National Assembly, with exemption of drivers, porters, cleaners, security guards, messengers, typists, cooks, gardeners, among others. Senator Kawu Sumaila from Kano's South Senatorial District expresses support for the bill.
I am glad to say the gentleman sitting before you is the secretary of our committee of the constitutional amendment in the 6th and 7th assembly, the clerk of the Senate of today. If you check or if you look what he is doing to promote as a technical aspect of legislation in this chamber, the way he is guiding the chamber, now without this legislation or without passing this legislation, he is going to retire very soon, which there is serious issue on that aspect. We are losing men, and most of this work is by brain.
Senator Naya Abaribe from Abia South Senatorial District, on the other hand, had a contrary opinion.
If we go to specialized knowledge, I ask, the person in the Ministry of Finance who is a director, does he not have specialized knowledge of finance? Would we say that it is so different from the person who is in the finance sector inside this place? And when you now say that, that one person here has knowledge, every director here has a deputy, every clerk here has a deputy, and each and every one of them are trying to also, when the people retire, they also go up. When they go up, other people are now employed. Then we want to stultify employment to make sure that somebody stays here beyond the public service rules.
Another point raised by Senator Abaribe was that passing such a bill would make the Senate appear to give preferential treatment to staff of the National Assembly. Other lawmakers made contributions to the matter.
If you put this on a secret ballot to the staff here, you'll be surprised what will happen. If we are here, we should really be senators. This matter, I've listened to our colleagues from both sides. I'm not opposing or supporting, but I'm cautioning us that we need to do more consultation on this matter before we take a decision.
I also wanted to hear from those who are opposed to the bill, and I've seen so many hands here who are opposed to the bill. Therefore, the bill is controversial. My opinion is that we step it down for more consultations. Is that the view of the Senate? Okay, I put the question. I put the question. Those in support of the motion that were of the view that we step it down for further consultation, say aye. And those against say nay. The ayes have it.
At the end of the debate, the bill was stepped down to allow for further consultation. Meanwhile, some bills were also considered at first reading in the week under review. They include Chartered Institute of Agribusiness Management of Nigeria Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Bamidele Michael Okpeyemi, Nigeria Cottage Industries Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Akpoti Uduaghan Natasha, Federal Medical Centers Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Catton Sunday Marshall, National Environmental Health and Sanitation Agency Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Mohammed Tahir Mongono, South-South Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Senator Asukwo Ekpeyon.
You're still watching Inside the Senate. The Senate Committee on Finance played host to the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS at the National Assembly. The FIRS team, led by its chairman, Zach Adedeji, met with the committee to defend the 2024 appropriation of the tax agency. Speaking at the meeting, Chairman of the committee, Senator Sani Musa, stressed the need for the FIRS to re-engineer the nation's tax administration in order to aid its development.
Nigerians at this time are facing a lot of difficulties. So when I mean Nigerians, I'm also talking about the entities, because most of the taxes are paid by entities. And what I have seen, like ordinarily where the bulk of our revenue comes from, that is the oil sector. Today, with what is going on, the volatility in the foreign exchange, I'm sure has also affected them.
Speaking earlier, the FIRS board gave a highlight of the agency's 2024 budget.
Because of what we've done in the preceding year of 12.3 trillion, the target received from MTEF is 19.4 trillion, divided into oil 9.6 trillion and non-oil to be 9.4 trillion. And I expected cost of collection, which is our revenue to run the service, is 446 billion.
The chairman also said the revenue of the FIRS in 2024 is projected at 446 billion naira, which is 36% higher than what was approved for the agency's 2023 budget. He highlighted the assumption and strategy of the agency.
We still believe that the crude oil production is to average around 1.7, 1.8 for 2024. Crude oil price is projected to average 77.96 per barrel. The average exchange rate based on the budget and what we projected here is around 800 to US dollar.
Satisfied with the defense and presentation of the FIRS, the committee approved the 2024 budget of the agency. Up next is our profile segment. Stay tuned as we present to you our Senator of the Week.
Senator Dr. Victor Ume represents Anambra Central Senatorial District of Anambra State. He was elected into the Senate on the platform of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. Senator Dr. Victor Ume was born on the 19th of July 1962 in Ifite Village, Aguluzigbo, in Anaocha local government area of Anambra State, Nigeria. He attended St. Bridget's Primary School, Aguluzigbo, for his primary education, from where he proceeded to Bobendorf Memorial Grammar School, Adazi Unuku, graduating top of his class with Division 1 in 1980. Same year, Senator Ume got admission into University of Nigeria in Nsukka and graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Estate Management in 1984. After his National Youth Service in 1985, as a lecturer at the University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, Senator Ume engaged himself in the practice of his profession. He is a registered estate surveyor and valuer by the Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria. Senator Victor Ume's stint in politics was in 1998 when he became a founding member of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), where he was elected state treasurer of the party in Anambra State. This was in 1999. He later resigned from the PDP in 2001 and joined others to register the All Progressives Grand Alliance (APGA) in 2002. He served as the first national vice chairman southeast of the party and later its national treasurer. He eventually became the national chairman of the party and served in that capacity until the 6th of June 2015 when his second tenure expired. Senator Victor Ume was elected into the 8th Senate and the 10th Senate as senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District, where he currently serves as chairman Senate Committee on Diaspora. Senator Victor Ume has received several awards and chieftaincy titles in recognition of his strong belief in the cause of justice. Some of them include Ancient and Noble Order of Knights of St. John International in 2001, Paul Harris Fellow of Rotary International since 2007, Officer of the Order of the Federal Republic OFR in 2014 by then-President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Papal Knighthood of St. Sylvester KSS in 2016 by Pope Francis I. His legislative interests lie in the areas of education, equity, and justice.
This is where we end Inside the Senate for this week. If you missed any part of the program, do follow our YouTube channel for details. Join me again for another episode of Inside the Senate. Thanks for watching.